Hi, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining in today. This is a very exciting day for all of us on screen, but also many more watching and many more working their other day job right now. It's book launch day, and so Awaken Feminine and Awaken Masculine is officially available on Amazon. I'm so grateful for all of you guys, our writers, our publishers that also wrote in the book. So it's just wonderful to have you all. And if you'd like to go around, introduce yourself and tell everyone why is it that you said yes? What called you to this beautiful project?
Awesome. Who wants to start? Tanis, do you want to start, love?
Sure, I'll be happy to start. Why did I say so? I'm Tanis, Dr. Tanis Gaitens. I'm so proud to be a part of this beautiful project, and one of 10 co-authors. Look for me in chapter 9. And I why did I say yes? Because this project aligned with a dream that I dusted off this past year. I've been working with Jennifer Maki as my business coach, but also knowing that I wanted to become an author. And so I decided this year to say yes to anything that came my way, relating to writing and authorship. And to be honest, when I was first invited, the topic of awakened feminine actually, because it's not a topic that I think about or read about or write about often, so it felt challenging, but I said yes anyway. And then as I started to meditate and to think and to, okay, what story do I have to tell or what can I contribute? It came to me that there was a story inside of me, and so my story, I called Awakened Sisterhood. And it really is about awakening to sisterhood. And so that's my contribution to the overall topic of awakened feminine. It was definitely such an interesting process of reflection. And then seeing all the hard work of the co-authors, of Jennifer and Todd as publishers, of Melanie inspiring everyone with this project, the creator. Um, it's just been it's been such a tremendous learning experience, and I feel just really honored to be a part of this group.
So glad you said yes, Tanis.
I'm really glad I said yes. I am. I was a little terrified to start.
That's the way it feels, but it all starts with a yes, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's
And I
so
also
fun.
really want to thank you all for this live because I think, in my world, very often when something is achieved, it's on to the next thing. So even the process of this live right now is helping me with the process of celebration today. And I'm trying to get better at celebrating the little wins and the big wins. And it's making me think even more about how to celebrate this today with my family and with my friends and with myself. So thank you for this as well.
It's so important, isn't it? That's a really good point, Tanis, because we can tend to move right on to the next thing. And actually, our son is on a 3 day biking trip, his first solo biking trip, and he found cell service and called Todd to celebrate him and to congratulate him on his very first chapter in a book.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
it was really great. Just
lovely.
the full
That's just
stop. Yeah, that's so
lovely.
great. So maybe with that lead in, Todd, you can talk a little bit, sweetheart.
Sure. I'm Todd. I primarily on the project, I was working on the background, so doing the layout of the book so that when it comes out from a Word file to the finished product, it's a little bit jazzier than it was at the beginning. So that was the first. I mean, I like doing that part of the process, and I think I just had the opportunity to write from coming from a small northern Ontario town and how that affects your perspective growing up and how it changes over time.
Yeah. It was amazing to work on the project together too, because for those that are watching the recording and are joining us, Todd and I have a company called Mad Hero Productions and Publishing. And so I was working a little bit on the editing after Melanie asked us to be involved. And then Todd, actually, when Melanie, you asked Todd to write his chapter, Todd was like, oh, well, I never thought I would be writing a chapter. And then it was fun to work even the editing process with us. So maybe I'll go next because Melanie, you asking us to be a part of this has been a really beautiful really beautiful experience. We've never done an anthology before. We've just launched our publishing company about a year and a half ago. We've worked with authors all over Canada and in the US, but to be able to work on an anthology with so many really talented, beautiful, soulful people, digging deep for the stories and really authentically looking at what's changed their lives and then coming out on the other side. I wrote it in my post today, but reading the stories of others made me think about femininity and even masculinity, because we had the opportunity to read those books as well too and work through that editing process. It really just opened my eyes to all the different ways in which we look at femininity and masculinity, how that started out perhaps in our lives, how we transformed. And the story that I wrote was about my mom, and I've never written a story about her before. I've done some talks for Mental Health Week and audiences because she struggled with mental health issues. And so the idea of what femininity was so different than what I've come to know it through sisterhoods and connection and learning about those balances between femininity and masculinity within myself. And so it was a beautiful privilege. So thanks for asking us to be a part of it, Melanie. It was beautiful. Robin, do you want to share next?
Mm. I'm just sort of soaking in everything that's been said so far, because it's been such a journey. It occurred to me a few days ago that it's been 9 months since the 10 original women got together, and such an incubation period of birthing this project into the world, which is, like, you can't make up timing like that, right?
Wow. Amazing.
And
Yeah,
sometimes it's hard to wait, just like when you're pregnant and behind the
right?
scenes or inward, all the things are happening, but you don't know that they're happening. They're just happening miraculously. It's felt a bit like a midwifery scenario with Todd and I, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
or you could say, or with or like a doula scenario, I think, with Robin here on the screen.
That's right. A doula, that's right. Of course. Yeah.
so yeah, I've really appreciated that sort of metaphor, and really looking at what this process and what the journey has been like. And when Melanie and I first met on a Zoom call and talked about this project, um, it was a bit like the doctor saying, "You're pregnant," and it's like, "Oh, that's amazing, yes," and then you go home and it's like, "Oh my God, what have I just, like,
What have I gotten myself
signed on
into?
to, like, what have I gotten myself into?" um, and through the writing process, it really occurred to me what a cocky notion it was to think that I had anything to say about what the awakened feminine uh, lives through me, in ways that might inspire and resonate with other women. Um, but interestingly, through this project, the fact that all of the 10 stories speak in such an individual voice, and yet resonate through this resilience, intuition, and struggle that flows back and forth in this very cyclical way that is the feminine presence. And that we each have our own kind of, feet on the ground about it, and a very different lived experience. And yet there's something that just vibrates when you read these stories that go, "It hasn't been exactly like that, but I totally hear what you're saying."
Absolutely.
And
Transformative.
so I think that, is it was powerful for me to kind of reflect and come to my own awareness about that. But it's also been a powerful experience to be part of this anthology, which, you know, adds my voice to the choir of more um, voices that sing a similar song,
Mm.
and ultimately add to hopefully some change in the world.
Absolutely. Beautiful. It's such an important point too, Robin, when you talk about the fact that it almost feels audacious when you say yes to writing your story, or what could I add? What could I ever add to that hasn't already been said by someone? But as being an author myself and then publishing these stories into existence, I'm so grateful that people say yes. I know Melanie feels that way too. I'm so grateful people say yes, because every story touches a different part of the heart or the soul of every person that reads it. And we can't have enough with all the busyness, with all the intensity of the world right now, we'll say. We can't have enough of this. We have to counter all of that with positive stories and beautiful reflections on our lives, and turning it around to transformation and inspiring people through our stories. So it's beautiful. I'm so glad to have met you and all of you. And we don't have all of our authors here today, but it's beautiful to just touch base on this launch day with all of you. And it's beautiful. Thanks for inspiring it, Melanie.
Well, like I've said before, thank you all for participating. None of it is possible without all of you. And for me, just to echo a little bit what you've all touched on, it's just a really special process to tell your story, and to tell it in a way that is going to make you reflect on your own experience, and also for the readers to then read these stories and connect within their own experience back to you, is just such a special event. And so I look forward to all of you hearing from all of your folks reading your beautiful stories and feeding back what kind of brought up in them, what it ignited within them, and their desire to then awaken. It is an era of awakening. There are more and more awakened souls every day in the world now. Thank goodness for that, and thank goodness for the time that we're in. And I know there's a lot of negative comments and a lot of frustrations around the world right now. There's also a lot of beauty and a lot of experiences that have yet to be discovered. And so that's what the books are all about. Maybe you're watching this and you're not sure what awakening means, or what does awaken feminine or awaken masculine energy means. And so this is a really good way to see what it meant to all of these beautiful souls that wrote in the books, and to see how it reflects within you what it means to you in your own human experience. And so I'm really looking forward to all of that feedback, and I'm so grateful you all said yes. Because here we are months later, and we are on launch day, and it just always feels so amazing. I can't wait to hold the books myself and put them on my little fire mantle here with my Awakened Souls book, and many more to come for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think you touched on a really important point there, Melody, about, how the world is challenging right now. We have no way to doubt that. Um, and the collective certainly feels it. And I think when we as individuals feel that pressure of crisis kind of, you know, coming down on us, and when we're in the midst of experiences that feel like we don't understand them, um, it's a hopeful thing for people to read that there have been people who have found their way out of the maze, and that we don't have to be lost in the labyrinth forever. it's part of the process, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, because I think it's so easy to forget that. And I think especially in these times where it feels so damn dark outside,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that there's a way to, you know, spin the story with different perspectives.
And it was amazing to me how deep people went. Because when you're asked to do a chapter, normally you think like a book, you would take time, it would take a whole book to go through your story. But it was amazing to me, as you know, having the privilege of reading everyone's story quite in depth, because when you're editing, of course, you're in a deeper frame of mind, and you're really digging into the grammar and the, you know, how does it flow, and it was amazing to me how deep people went. And even in a chapter, to be able to bring all of a life experience. And some of us in these books really had to go to some dark places or go through some dark nights of the soul to come out on the other side, and still in that chapter to bring it to the light and to heal in the process, I'm sure, of writing those stories. And then being able to share that and to feel honored and to be honoring of that experience, just really incredible. Yeah, really, really, really beautiful. And we're glad you said yes, Melanie, because those inklings can come at us, and we can let them go and think, who am I to organize a project like that? Or is there really anything else to be said? And you said yes. And if you hadn't said yes, none of us would be sitting here today. So
It's my pure pleasure. And I know that it's going to be in the next few months, in the next few years, as there more to these books, and also that more people are being reached through our reach as a collective. I think there's going to be more and more beauty in the world. And I'm just so grateful and so honored that you're all brave enough to say yes and to share your stories. And for a lot of you, first time writers, I know there'll be many more books for all of you, as you're just scratching the surface of how amazing your message is and how much the world needs to hear it.
We've already had a few authors reach out and say, okay, I'm going to be getting ready my other books. So it's really, it's
Yeah,
beautiful, just beautiful.
That's awesome.
Wildly grateful. Aww. Well, this is the first of many of these, isn't it, Melanie? We're going to try and do the Facebook Lives again too, right?
Yes.
Well, I just want to thank everyone here. It's really an inspiring project for me in this whole process. And I want to thank everyone watching as well. I can't wait for you to read this book. I can't wait to read it again and to reflect and to grow. And I'm just honored to be amongst this collective of such interesting, thoughtful co-authors. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited also to read The Awakened Feminine and The Awakened Masculine. I haven't read The Awakened Masculine yet, actually. I'm so excited to read that and to read your chapter, Todd, too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're both good counterpoints for each other, I think.
It's beautiful to do them in tandem. We didn't know we were involved with The Awakened Feminine, and then The Awakened Masculine was happening, and Melanie said, oh no, it's not like one after the other, like we already got that one on the go. And so we were like, okay, sure, we can launch 2 books at the same time, we can do this.
Yes, that's quite the publishing power couple, I have to say, writing chapters and editing 2 books at a time and publishing.
Good job.
You might be able to tell we love what we do.
Well done.
Yeah, so much fun. Yeah.
It's so great. Yeah, and make sure when you're reading, good to call out the audience, Tanis, and when you read the book, leave a review. It really helps. Like sometimes you can forget, you get to the end, and then, you just say, oh, that was lovely, and move on. But if you can pause like we're doing today to celebrate, and you can pause after you read the book and just leave a little review, it'd be so helpful, because that just helps the story spread further and wider and reach the hearts of many more people. So thank you for that. Awesome.
So beautiful.
Enjoy the rest of your lunch day, everyone.
Awesome. You too.
You too. We'll see you guys soon.
See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.